Hanging out in Steamboat Springs along our beautiful bike path following the Yampa River. This is Brock from Orange Peel Bikes. Orange Peel Bikes is service, sales, rentals, demos, advice, and fun. In this episode, we're going to be checking out the great wheel debate. Mountain biking is changing quickly. We've got 26-inch wheels, 29-inch wheels, the new mid-size 27.5-inch wheels. Which bike is right for you? We're also going to be heading north to British Columbia to check out some sweet adventure riding. We've got prototyping bikes with Graham Agassi and the Kona crew. We're also going to be taking a look at Moot Cycles, Steamboat Springs' homegrown, handcrafted, US-made bike company. This is Orange Peel TV. Orange Peel TV is about cross-country single track. Orange Peel TV is freestyle. Orange Peel TV is about enjoying every day. Stay tuned for more Orange Peel TV. The great wheel debate in mountain biking is what wheel size should you be riding? A 26-inch wheel traditional mountain bike, a 29er, it's been the hottest thing over the past 5 to 10 years, or the new size, 27.5, also known as 650B. Well, this bike, this is a transition dirt jump machine, has the traditional 26-inch wheels. Since mountain biking was really started, this has been the most common wheel size. Easy to find tires, the rims can be built really sturdy, and it's just what most people think of when they think of mountain biking. 26 inches from here to here makes a bike nimble, makes the wheels sturdy, and it's just something that most people can really just gain accustomed to right away. Now that being said, there's some pitfalls to the smaller wheel size, and namely, they don't roll as fast. The smaller wheels hit small bumps and kind of ricochet backwards ever so slightly as opposed to rolling up and over them. So that for racers and people who are looking for speed and efficiency might not be the best choice. That being said, for riders who are into downhill, freestyle, dirt jumping like this bike is made for, really appreciate that small wheel because it's more nimble. We call it flickable in the bike industry. You can play with your bike more. It's definitely been the most popular category of wheel size for riders who ride aggressively in technical terrain. First I have here one of our best-selling bikes at Orange Peel Bikes. It's the Pivot Mach 429 Carbon. This is a new bike this year. The 29-inch wheel size has been out for well over a decade, and the last couple years it has taken over sales. These bigger wheels tend to roll fast. They roll over small bumps really well, and they're very stable, making it great for cross-country racing, fast Jeep road riding, and also good for people who are maybe timid. Mountain biking on technical terrain, the big wheels help you with a big amount of momentum and inertia, and keeps you from flying over the bars. One of the big problems with the 29-inch wheels is the bikes have to be designed quite long and what we call wheelbase. So from axle to axle, due to the increased wheel size, the whole bike has to expand. What that does is it allows the bike to be very stable at high speed. You can go so fast without any sort of twitchiness. But if you can imagine slow speeds or tight corners, it's harder to initiate. You really have to plan ahead on your turns with these big wheels and that long wheelbase to make it in time. And a rider who's used to one bike or the other compensates quite well. But if you switch between them, you have to plan a lot earlier to initiate a turn with a 29-inch wheeled bike due to that long wheelbase and that big wheel size. So with that, it's a bike that's been very successful and a wheel size that's been very successful, but it's certainly not for everyone. We'll be right back with more Orange Peel TV. There's a new wheel size that's coming in. It's called the 27.5, also known as the 650B wheel. It's ironic that we call it old because the tire size is actually a French touring standard that dates back well into the 60s. It's just recently taken over with mountain biking because it shares some of the benefits of the 29er and it shares some of the benefits of the 26-inch wheel. So if you can imagine, the wheel size is right in between the 26 and the 29er, hence the 27.5. You get the good speed and rollover of the big wheeled 29er. You get a wheel that's more nimble and easier to maintain, like a 26er.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is something they call a groundbreaker.
For us, this is the first year we're really focusing on these wheel size at Orange Peel Bikes. And honestly, when you ride them, you kind of get it. They are fun bikes, they handle really quickly, but they still feel super fast, like a 29er. In many people in the bike industry's perspective, this wheel size is going to take over. When people ride them, they feel good and they're really fun. The biggest thing that we're noticing right now is a lack of options in tires, rims, suspension forks that are made to fit the wheel size. But with the popularity gaining and momentum kind of rolling along, I'd say by 2014 you're going to see a whole lot of 27.5-inch wheeled mountain bikes on the market. One thing we can't forget is the bike industry is all about change, all about innovation, keeping things fresh. And over the past few years, we've seen a great influx of what we call fat bikes. Fat bikes have allowed riders on a big tire like that to ride on sand, to ride on snow.
Riding across the frozen field.
To give people who have balance issues huge amount of security and stability. And traditionally, the fat bike standard was built around a 26-inch wheel. This is a 26-inch rim with a 4.7-inch wide tire on it. When we look at fat bikes, you often see stripped down, simple machines, partly because they're made to be used in inclement weather in the snow or along beaches where there's salt and ocean spray. We try to keep moving parts to a minimum or at least sealed up. You also won't see things like suspension very often on these bikes. We've got a rigid fork and a rigid rear end because we have such a huge tire. You can run low pressure and you almost get an inch or two out of suspension just out of the rubber. If you can imagine on the 26-inch size fat bike, a rider my size might only ride 4 or 5 PSI in his tires.
Riding my yellow and green fat bike. Fat bike.
But what happens when you mix a fat bike with a 29-inch rim? Our friends at Surly in Minnesota kind of got to thinking and they came out with this year 29-inch plus. This is a new model called the Krampus and it's using a 29-inch rim with a 3-inch wide tire. These bikes handle super fun. You can turn the craziest angles and still get traction. You can roll over just about anything. You can float reasonably well on the big tires in the sand and the snow. And yet you could ride this bike all year round. So, how do I know which wheel size I should pick? I don't know. You just have to get on them and ride them. Bikes are fun and you'll find one that's sweet for you. Stay tuned for more Orange Peel TV. Thanks for tuning in to Orange Peel TV. In this next segment, we're going to be talking about adventure riding, some sweet mountain biking footage in the mountains of British Columbia. We'll be right back with more Orange Peel TV. Hey, thanks for tuning in to Orange Peel TV. In this next segment, we're going to be doing some product testing, development, and prototyping with the Kona Bikes crew and Graham Agassi. And Graham, pro rider, pro freestyler for Kona, is one of the most accessible and coolest professional athletes you'll ever meet. His home trails in Kamloops is where a lot of this footage is shot. Amazing stuff goes on with this kid. And I've had a chance to ride with him up in the Northwest on a Kona dealer tour. Watching what a pro rider can do in person is simply amazing. I hope you enjoy this segment.
It's Aggie and Chris.
Okay.
Sweet.
I'm here with Graham's 2012 Kona Entourage, 65-degree head angle, 343mm bottom bracket height, and 415mm chainstays. Makes for a slack, low, super short back end, fun bike. This bike has a chainstay length that's a little bit shorter than the original Bass was, so you can really see the progression of things.
I can see myself just riding this bike. If I had only one bike to ride all year, it'd just be this bike. Take it to everything.
Graham doesn't have a World Cup race mechanic following him around everywhere he goes. So when he's out in Kamloops, he needs his bike to work day in and day out. And what we've incorporated into this bike is big durable pivots and hardware that lasts.
Right on, dude.
Have fun in Kamloops.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Rip on it.
Yeah. Kona gave me this one-off prototype of the Entourage here. They thought I was the guy to take it out and put my thoughts on it and put it to the test. I chose Kamloops to test the bike because, well, it's the best here. You can't get anything else just like this. I think just how diverse it is here, how it's just different from anywhere else. I can really punish a bike here. I wanted to spin this one jump here for a while. Thought, why not the Entourage? That just opened up so many doors to what I want to do on this bike now. I'm fired up. We headed out to Cache Creek, Spencer's Bridge area. Figured it was a pretty good place to test the new Entourage here because the riding is a little more unique than anywhere else. It's just more kind of skidder lines, lots of chutes and stuff like that. I tried to punish it. I definitely put it through its paces, but she held up. This bike is just a blast to ride. It's so much fun. If you want one bike to do everything, this is the bike. We definitely put it to the test, I would say for sure. I mean, handles unbelievably in the trails, blasted all the chutes, hit all the big lines, dirt jumps just like my Bass. I mean, I didn't change the suspension at all the entire time we shot this, so it's a pretty bitchin' bike.
We'll be right back with more Orange Peel TV. Hello, this is Brock from Orange Peel Bicycle Service in Steamboat Springs. Thanks for tuning in to Orange Peel TV. We're now going to be checking out a segment on Moots. Moots Cycles is Steamboat Springs' handcrafted, homegrown bike company. I have the privilege of working in a shop where this frame company was founded back in the 70s. Nowadays, Moots are made about a mile from here in one of our warehouse complexes. But these bikes are handcrafted titanium made by people for bike riders right here in Steamboat. And legend has it that just as mountain bikes were being kind of invented famously in Northern California by Tom Ritchie and Joe Breezer and the likes, Kent Erickson was here in Steamboat, making mountain bikes quietly, riding local trails and local Jeep roads and making it happen. Now Moots builds 2,000 to 3,000 frames a year, all out of titanium, all made by hand, all done here in Steamboat. They're exquisite bikes. We're going to show you a profile of the factory and some of the people who make bikes here in Steamboat. Enjoy.
The miter shop just goes from just all of our stock tubing that's on the walls to, you know, all the final cuts and everything. And before it leaves here, it looks like a bike, it just hasn't been welded together yet. It's all US taught. It's not like we're just here in the United States building bikes out of, you know, Chinese sites. We're using the best quality stuff, you know, throughout the entire process. All of it is drawn out. It's not just a welded seam of the two. Quality kind of just comes through. You know, they put a ton of time into designing how that's all done, and then it's kind of like, all right, well, now let's figure out how to make it. We're not real big on, you know, changing the design every year. That's not what we're doing. Just trying to make something. When we see a way to do it better, we'll do that. He's 5. He's super psyched about riding his bike. He's going to the desert to go mountain biking with his mom this weekend. We've been building him some scrap wood jumps. He doesn't have an older brother to do that for him, so I figured I'd get out there and bang some stuff together for him. It's good to remember the days of having to get brought in at dark, not ready to be done.
I do like to cook. I do like to cook, especially now that I don't do it for a living anymore. That was the big change when I quit cooking. Like when Tim brings this frame out of the blaster here and he hangs it up there, somebody marks it up like it's a, you know, a high school test paper and hands it back to you like, fix all this. Sometimes they'll go back in, you know, 4 or 5 times and just end up finding little minute, you know, a little bit of weld curl here or a scratch that somebody didn't see there, or a shadow from the blast coming out uneven, because it gives you a good idea what they're trying to do in here, you know what I mean?
We use our own special cup, weld cups that we make that covers with a pretty wide area of argon. There's definitely like a material difference too, you know, it's not all just, some of it's us, some of it's the material.
You always so desperately want it to be perfect. And I think that's probably the hardest part, is that you always want it to be perfect, and then it could be, but you'll never see it that way. Which is probably healthy, in a way.
Thanks for watching Orange Peel TV. My name's Brock. I'm the owner of Orange Peel Bicycle Service. We're located in downtown Steamboat Springs at the corner of 12th and Yampa Street, right on the bike path. Come on in for sales, service, friendly advice, bikes of all types. We're all about fun here at Orange Peel. Thanks for watching TV, and come on visit Orange Peel Bicycle Service. Take care.